Real YouTubists, change location. Continue watching video for a change in scene. So, as we are about to discuss, surprise, it's me, Wood Man, looking slightly different, most likely, because I've changed location. I've gone home to be with my parents. I'm going to be here for probably about a week. I don't know exactly how long, but yeah. So basically for the next few videos, I will be in this location. This is not my childhood room. I didn't have a picture of eyes on the wall. It's the guest room in my house, and yeah, so I'm recording in here for the next week, and streaming and stuff will all be in here. So there are a couple, obviously, changes to my appearance. First of all, my hair is now brown. Very surprising. Second of all, I don't have my green screen here, so we're not using green screen for the week. I hope you guys don't mind. And I don't have my lighting either, so obviously I look kind of like, I don't know, less illuminated. Like, I can see that things are more like orange and browny. But yeah, I mean, the content should still be the same, so hopefully you guys don't mind. I will try and make it work as best I can. But yeah, we'll be here for the next week. I hope it's not a problem because, yeah, this is how I used to record all the time, but that was also before I kind of blew up. So anyway, I'm actually really excited to talk about today's video. Yeah, it's very interesting to me because for those of you who don't know, the way that VGC works is that every year a different, or oftentimes, or sometimes even, you know, more than once a year, but at the very least, every year, the format will change and a different subsection of Pokemon will be legal. So, for example, it generally follows a pretty standard-ish pattern where it will go restricted or limited decks, which is, you know, that's the year that a new game comes out, and we have Pokemon such as in 2011, we were only allowed to use Unova Pokemon. In 2014, which were only the Pokemon catchable in X and Y. Same for 2017 in Sun and Moon, and now 2020. Obviously, we only have 400 Pokemon in the game, and so we're only allowed to use those in VGC 2020. Now, the year after that, we generally have open decks, which is pretty much everything minus a couple of the legendary Pokemon. So in 2012, 2015, 2018, pretty much everything was legal. With some exceptions. You weren't allowed to use the cover legendaries like Groudon or Kyogre and all those Pokemon, and you also weren't allowed to use mythical Pokemon, which we're going to talk about in today's video, but everything else was fair game. You could use Metagross, Tyranitar, Garchomp, Salamence, Tapu-Lele, pretty much everything you wanted to use in open years, anything that's legal, even legendary Pokemon, Cresselia, Heatran, those are legal. And then after that, normally the cycle follows that we have a restricted format, which means not that the Pokemon are restricted, but that you're allowed to have up to 2 restricted Pokemon on your team. So these are Pokemon like Groudon and Kyogre and Xerneas and Rayquaza and Dialga, effectively the cover legendaries and then a couple others. You're allowed to have 2 of them on your team, and so those formats are very different. However, there's one group of Pokemon that I've left out, at least I think there's only one, and that group is Mythical Pokemon. So Mythical Pokemon have never been VGC legal. I believe the reason for the intent behind this initially was because some of these Pokemon were only available via events. Like, I don't think you could catch Deoxys in Emerald or yeah, like Darkrai. I can't remember. I think you could get Darkrai without an event, but I'm honestly not sure. A lot of these Pokemon, though, require events. Like, you can't just catch Mew, you know, in most games, or Celebi in most games. It requires some kind of event. And even though some of these Pokemon have changed, like in Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, you were able to catch Deoxys via the main story. Yeah, like, I think the original intent was that if someone didn't have access to trading and they didn't go to an event, it wouldn't be fair to not let them have a Pokemon. So I believe, that's my guess. I don't have anything backing that up, but that's my instinct. That's the reason why we were never allowed to use mythical Pokemon. However, although mythical Pokemon aren't... Wolf Glick almost knocks everything over. Chat, challenge. Although mythical Pokemon aren't, like, super... there aren't that many of them. Some of them would make a huge impact. I'm also going to give you guys a full disclosure that while we're doing this video, I want to be doing some research on my own. Like, I want to do this live. I could have done it in advance, but I thought it could be interesting to show you guys what I'm looking for when I talk about how good some Pokemon would be. So, I have Celebi pulled up here as well, and we're going to be going through some of these Pokemon just to kind of get a sense of what they can do and what they can't do. Because this is the group of Pokemon I have the least experience with, because I've never had to use them. I've never even had to think about them. Like, I don't know a lot about a lot of these Pokemon. So, today's topic is, how good would the mythical Pokemon be in competitive Pokemon if they were ever legal? Now, do I expect them to ever be legal? Truthfully, no. I don't expect them to ever be legal. Some of them I wish were legal at times, truthfully. Not all of them are super overpowered. But, yeah. Oh, also, by the way, just letting you know now. Also, I know this has been a long intro, I'm sorry. I'm not that sorry. It's par for the course. But I'm on a different computer. I got a laptop. I normally record on a desktop. So this is the first video I've ever recorded on the laptop. So number one, if there's any feedback you want to give me for like things that look bad other than the lighting, like which I can't change, but the camera and the mic are the same. It's just the lighting is different and the green screen is different. But number two, I have a different mouse and it's much harder for me to use the mouse, so the intro is going to be very sloppy for this week, unless I get much more adept with the mouse. But anyway, with all that being said, let's get started. First Pokemon is Mew. Now, Mew is pro and I probably would want to put rank without looking at it, but let's just take a look at it anyway. Mew has good stats. It's base 100s across the board. You can take a look at them down here. Great stats overall. It also learns every single move in the game, which makes it interesting. You can do a lot of really interesting things with Mew. Typically, I imagine Mew would be more of a support Pokemon, personally. Because of the good supportive moves, like you could run Pollen Puff. I mean, it literally gets every TM. Scald, Ally Switch, TM and TR. Nasty Plot, you can run Setup Mew. Physical or Special, you normally run Special in VGC, I think. You could run Dragon Dance. I was pretty sure it got Nasty Plot. You could run Trick Scarf Mew. You could run, Jesus, it gets everything. It gets literally everything. So, Swords Dance you could run. I wouldn't recommend it, though. The Terrains, Snarl. You could run a Assaultless Mew with U-Turn or Volt Switch, Snarl, and then 2 coverage moves. There's U-Turn, like I mentioned. Imprison Mew, that's funny. Will-O-Wisp, that's a great supportive move. Icy Wind, that's a very good support move. Safeguard, the screens. I was pretty sure I got Nasty Plot. Was I wrong? Oh, there it is, Nasty Plot. You can run Special Sweeping Mew. Transform is something that makes Mew very unique. I don't think this is as good in doubles as it is in singles, because basically what Transform does is it turns you into the opponent's Pokemon, while keeping your HP stat, and because Mew has relatively high base HP with base 100, meaning it caps at 190, or actually 207 base HP, you can basically turn into a high HP version to any Pokemon, which is very powerful. It also gives you some really interesting tech that you could run, like Imprison and Transform. The way that Imprison works is it's an effect on the base Pokemon, basically saying, like, if Mew uses Imprison and then Transform, the Imprison effect remains on the Mew. So if you Imprison and then Transform into a Pokemon, you force it to use Struggle. In short, there's a lot of things you can do with Mew. I used to get Roost, and Roost is no longer a TR or TM, so yeah. But there's a lot of things you can do with Mew, and it has good stats. I'm going to go ahead and put it in the A tier, personally. I think Mew is a great Pokemon. You maybe could argue for S. I'm going to put it in A because I think that there are stronger Pokemon who deserve to be in S tier, and although Mew is very good and really versatile, I think it's Trick Room as well. Yeah, I think its main strength comes from its versatility and the lack of immediate offensive pressure without setting up. I think I'm going to take away from it. So, still an amazing Pokemon. If this thing were legal, I would expect it to see a good bit of play. Celebi is the next one. So, I don't know that much about Celebi, I'll be honest. I know it's popular in singles. Same stats as Mew, so those are good. But it has a 4x weakness to Bug. Let's take a look at the moves. Baton Pass, Life Dew, Recover. So, it gets Recovery, Leaf Seed, Leaf Storm. It gets Perish Song. So, you would definitely see some Celebi play on Perish Trap teams, I think. Man, that's actually super cool to think about. Like, if you could have had Mega Gengar and Celebi, I think that'd be kind of cool. Thunder Wave is a good support move. It gets screens. Helping Hand, Imprison, Trick Room. Trick Room is good, just like I said with Mew. Psychic, it gets Swords Dance. You wouldn't probably use it though. It gets Aura Sphere and Leaf Storm, like we talked about. This is Leaf Blade, but it gets Leaf Storm. Earth Power is a good coverage move. Nasty Plot, Ally Switch, Pollen Puff. Truthfully, the move pool's not that great. I kind of expected more from Celebi. Grass and Psychic aren't the best typing defensively. I honestly think Celebi is maybe C tier. I really like Celebi, probably because the movie with it is so good. And you definitely, like, it's definitely not bad. Like, it's probably upper C tier, but when we're comparing these mythicals to each other, like, I think most of them are probably going to be better than Celebi, is my guess. So, we're going to put Celebi tentatively in the C tier. We may rework that later. But for now, I think that C tier is pretty fair to put it because, yeah, like, the thing about Celebi is that, unlike Mew, who is pure Psychic type, meaning it only has 3 weaknesses to Psychic, Bug, or Ghost, Bug, and Dark, Celebi's Grass typing adds weaknesses to Ice, Fire, Flying, and it also adds a 4x weakness to Bug, which in a format where U-Turn, in any format where U-Turn is popular, you don't want a 4x weakness to Bug, just because, like, a move that's intended to be supportive will now do 50% of your health, you know, at least. So, yeah, we're going to put Celebi in the C tier for that reason. Not a bad Pokemon, you wouldn't be upset to have it, but you would do more work to support it than it would do to support you. And then next up we have Jirachi. So Jirachi, I believe, also has 100 base stats across the board. Yeah. Jirachi's typing is Steel and Psychic, a very good defensive typing. Metagross has this typing, has been popular in VGC for years. It was also Necrozma Dusk main for me, which was used in the past as well. So Yeah, let's look at Jirachi. So the thing about Jirachi is that its ability is very good. Unlike Mew, who has, Synchronize, and Celebi, who has Natural Cure, neither of which are especially good, Serene Grace is very good. Now, there's something about Jirachi. Let me just confirm this. Okay, yeah, so Jirachi used to get Follow Me. If it still got Follow Me, it would be an S-tier Pokemon, without question in my mind. Follow Me Steel-type is just brutal, and it would help a lot versus Pokemon like Xerneas. However, it no longer gets Follow Me, which is good. Technically, you could still transfer it over, but it wouldn't be VGC legal because you need to get your Pokemon in Gen 8 in order for it to be legal in Gen 8 in competitive. So, looking at its move pool, Helping Hand, Wish, Gravity, there aren't that many Gravity Pokemon, so yeah. Meteor Mash is interesting. It has a 10%, 20% effect rate, so with the Serene Grace, you have a 40% chance of raising your attack if you wanted to use it. However, your Steel-type move of choice would probably still be Iron Head. Jirachi also has interesting coverage moves because, with Fire Punch, Ice Punch, and Thunder Punch, these moves are typically used, just for coverage and for, a relatively, middling to low base power move for coverage. But with Jirachi, you now have the chance with Serene Grace to get the secondary effects. So, Fire Punch burning, 1 out of 5 attacks, and Ice Punch even more devastatingly freezing 1 out of 5 attacks is pretty good. Thunder Wave, Light Screen Reflect, Safeguard, Icy Wind is a great support move like I mentioned. We already talked about Helping Hand. It does get imprisoned. You probably wouldn't use it. It gets Trick Room, and that's actually a viable thing you can do with it. Baton Pass, Encore, Cosmic Power, Iron Defense. Does it get Body Press? No, no Body Press. Okay, so honestly, the move pool is not as good as I expected. The real strength I think of Jirachi is the Iron Head 60% flinch chance, meaning if you get Speed Control with Jirachi, you have a 60% chance to flinch with every Iron Head. Or if you're just faster, because in the let's say we added, this is crazy talk, we never do this, but if we added Jirachi into the current format, a 60% chance to flinch anything slower than base 100 is extremely, extremely good. Now, Dynamax does weaken this a little bit, I will say. And yeah, without Follow Me, I think Jirachi is a little weaker as well. So, with all that being said, I was originally going to put Jirachi in A tier, but after kind of giving it a more in-depth look, I think we're actually going to put it in the B tier. Yeah. Okay, so next up we have Deoxys. So, Deoxys is a Pokemon I'm really not super familiar with. We're going to take a look at it now. Okay, so it's not in the game, so we'll go to Gen 7. Okay, so there's a bunch of different Deoxys forms. Look at Deoxys normal first. Its ability is Pressure, no good here. Let's look at the stats. Okay, Deoxys normal. Low base HP, very high attack and special attack, low base defenses, and high base speed. Effectively, this thing is just a sweeper. There's nothing else to say about it. Yeah. I think we should maybe consider all of these. I think if you're running Deoxys, if you're running the offensive Deoxys sets, you are always going to want Focus Sash. So on speed, attack, and defense, I think you probably always want the Focus Sash. The reason for this is that their defenses and HP are... All of the HP is very low. 50 HP is really bad. And then... yeah, the offenses are good on these sets, and yeah, even with 50 and 20 are just bad, regardless. So you always want Focus Sash on Deoxys, I think. In terms of its moves, gonna be a drag. Okay, so obviously we don't know exactly what it would get in Generation 8, but one thing I'm confident about is Psycho Boost, which is 100. It's basically Psychic type Draco Meteor. It actually is Psychic type Draco Meteor. It gets also pretty good coverage moves. Okay, they all get different ones. Okay, it gets Ice Beam, which is very good. So you already have Psycho Boost and Ice Beam, which lets you hit things pretty hard. I don't know if it gets Fire moves. It gets obviously physical Fire moves here from tutors. I guess if it gets the Fire Punch, only 2 of them get Fire Punch, but those are the offense. Oh, it's only normal speed, right? Yeah, it's not attack for me. Wait. Attack and normal look so similar. I see. Okay, it's only normal and speed you get Fire Punch. So obviously the move pool changes for all of them. I don't know too much about what moves they would get now. I think Deoxys would be Deoxys normal for me. Oopsie, would be an A tier Pokemon, no doubt. The thing about Deoxys defense is that although it's bulky, the style of Pokemon would not be amazing. I think if you wanted to run Deoxys defense, you'd actually run it with Trick Room and probably run Trick Room, Taunt. It depends if it gets Body Press as well. So this is where it gets kind of tricky because you have more speculation. You could maybe run Gravity as well. That's definitely an option. These are tutor moves, right? Yeah, so probably wouldn't get Knockoff. You'd probably run Trick Room, Taunt. Okay, it's Iron Defense. That's kind of scary. Trick Room, Taunt, Iron Defense, Body Press if it gets it. That's actually kind of strong. Yeah, Thunder Wave, Reflect, Thunderbolt. Extreme Speed is an option as well, especially on some of these other ones. Oh, Knockoff. Speed Form gets Knockoff by level up. Oh, wait, do they all get Knockoff? Defense Form gets level up by Knockoff as well. Okay, so I think you run Knockoff, maybe Psycho Boost, Trick Room, and Taunt could all be a solid move pool. Just be offensive. Yeah. You can run Recover, or maybe Recover as well. speed bulky, because, yeah, like, the bulk is really good here. It's actually kind of still fast, which isn't terrible. Like, base 90 is not terrible at all. Yeah, but it's extremely bulky. So, I think Deoxys D is probably defense. Defense 4 is probably B tier. I think speed is probably C tier, and, yeah, I mean, it feels kind of bad to put speed in C tier, but the thing is, like, the 30 base speed is not worth the, you know, potentially, you know, what, 75 attack and special attack, and it's definitely not worth the extra defense because you're still very frail. Maybe it's B tier, but I think that's probably fair. And then S tier, wait, which one's normal? This is attack and this is normal. Sorry, I think attack form might be S tier. That might be a little bit, you know, too much, but I just can't imagine having a Pokemon with base 180 special attack and base 150 speed. Is that Gengar stats? Hang on a second. What are Mega Gengar stats? Because in that case, I can't imagine it. No, Gengar is definitely not as strong as this. Yeah, and it is the same base speed, I think. No, Mega Gengar hits 220. What am I saying? Yeah, this thing is like Pheromosa. This is like what Pheromosa wants to be. So, yeah. Fiona, I don't have to look up. It's D tier. It's just Babby Manaphy. It's just there as a gimmick. Let's take a look. Let's move on. But let's talk about Manaphy, because that's another one. I think that's just another 100 across the board Pokemon. Yeah, 100 across the board. So this is just a pure water type. However, the thing about Manaphy is that it gets Tail Glow. And Tail Glow Manaphy is terrifying. I thought it said bread. It doesn't. Tail Glow Manaphy, so for those of you who don't know, Tail Glow raises your special attack by 3 stages, which is terrifying, to say the least. It gets decent move options. It also gets Heart Swap. So if you wanted, you could run like Tail Glow, Scald, Energy Ball, and Heart Swap, although I think you'd normally want Ice Beam. I think the standard move pool in this thing would just be Scald, Ice Beam, Tail Glow, and either Energy Ball or Protect. Both are good. Also depends if it's allowed to Dynamax or like Slash if it's in a Dynamax format. You also get Dazzling Gleam, so Dazzling Gleam is actually kind of good in doubles because you can hit both Pokemon. Are we in Gen 8? Is this thing legal in Gen 8? How do I go back to Gen 8? I realize it's not one. Because maybe this thing is already in the game. Okay, nope. Not in the game. Right? Yeah, no. Okay, we'll go back here. Okay, yeah. So, I mean, Tail Glow is the big thing about Manaphy. I think it makes it very viable. I'd put it in the A tier, personally. Yeah, like, you could run Manaphy plus Follow Me or Rage Powder, like Manaphy Amoonguss, for example. Sounds kind of scary. Just the ability to Tail Glow, and then, you know, if you can Dynamax after Tail Glow, you would just one-shot everything. Next up, we have Darkrai, who I kind of feel bad for, because, like, Darkrai, thanks to Smeargle, got super nerfed. Its ability does how much damage? I think it's 1/8 damage to anything asleep, and its signature move, Dark Void, is scary, but not super good because it's now 50 base power. Or 50 accuracy, excuse me. Dark Void is one of the most broken moves I've ever seen in VGC. However, it's no longer as broken as it was. The thing about Dark Void is you have, what, 1 in 4 chance to hit both Pokemon, which is not very good, and yeah, you have a 50% chance to miss at least one of them, so I think I'm kind of being stupid, but yeah. Darkrai isn't terrible. I think it's relatively fast. Yeah, relatively fast, like, and good special attack, so you can run, like, Dark Void, Nasty Plot, etc. It's, like, Dark Pulse and then Coverage Move or whatever, but yeah, the thing is the bulk isn't super good. Base 90 and 70 are not amazing, and, yeah, the thing is the Dark Void's not consistent, so yeah, I don't think you'd run Darkrai most of the time. It's kind of crazy, but I think I'm going to put it in the C tier. Like, the thing is, if Dark Void was more accurate, if Dark Void was 100% accurate, I'd just slap it in the S tier. 100%. That one move would make it, on its own, amazing. However, it doesn't get that right now, so, or, like, it does get it, but it's inaccurate. So, yeah, I mean, you could very easily miss both Pokemon. I mean, you miss both as much as you hit both, so, yeah, not super good. Let's take a look at Shaymin next. So Shaymin is an interesting Pokemon. I guess they move Seed Flare, which is very good. Shaymin, regular for me, is based 100s across the board, which, as we said, is pretty good. Sky for me loses some bulk, 25 in each of the defenses for 27 speed, 20 special attack, and then 3 attack, whatever. But that's still very interesting to me, at least, because, yeah, base 127 is extremely fast. Not as fast as Dragapult, of course. It also gets the flying typing. And it gets a better ability in Serene Grace. So regular Shaymin has Natural Cure, Skyformy has Serene Grace. So that means that you have a 60% Air Slash effect, and you have a Seed Flare, which is a super powerful move. Has a 80% chance to lower your opponent's special defense by 2 stages. Now, that's very, very strong. This move is only 85% accurate, so that's not, like, broken on its own. But the thing is, you can't really switch into Seed Flare because if you're facing Skyform Shaymin, I think this thing has Ubers and singles. But yeah, if you're facing Skyform Shaymin, it will drop your special defense 2 stages 80% of the time. Or maybe, wait, does it double the base probability, or does it roll the dice twice? Is it actually 80%, or is it actually... I think it doubles the probability. I don't think it's 1 minus 0.6 times 0.6, right? Which would technically be what, like 64%? Yeah. I actually am not positive how it works, but I think that's an 80% chance to drop. I'm pretty sure. So, what that means is that, yeah, like basically you can't switch into Shaymin. Even if 4 times resist Pokemon, but like you'd lose 2 stages of your special defense most of the time, and you still have to worry about Air Slash and Seed Flare. And I'm fairly certain it gets Earth Power as well. Yeah, it gets Earth Power as well. So there's very few Pokemon that can switch into this thing. It gets Tailwind as a shooter move. That's a move shooter, so like I probably wouldn't get it in this game. But yeah, extremely terrifying Pokemon. And I personally like wouldn't want... This is a Pokemon I think I'd prefer not to be legal. I think this is an S tier Pokemon. Regular Shaymin I think is probably B tier. Like Seed Flare is still a good effect, but it's much, much worse than Shaymin Sky for me. I only want to rank one of the Arceuses. I don't want to rank all of them. I hope you'll forgive me for that. I actually don't know that much about Arceus, but I know it's very good. I think it's like he base 120 across the board. Yeah, so obviously the first thing we notice is that the base stats are insane. The base stats are very, very good. And it gets this move called Judgment, which is 120 base power, I believe. Where's Judgment? 100 base power, special move. Type varies depending on the kind of plate the user is holding. 100 base power stab move of any type. It also gets Extreme Speed. It also gets Perish Song. I don't need to see anymore. I don't know which one's Arceus normal is. Water, Grass, Electric, Fighting, Flying, Poison, Steel, Psychic, Fighting. Where's normal? Ah, that's Victini. S tier. 100% S tier. You see, I don't even know if they show you in preview like what Arceus type it is, but yeah, it gets Recover as well. So you could bring Recover, Calm Mind, Punish, or Judgment. Like, imagine Fairy-type Arceus. Like, I don't want to imagine Fairy-type Arceus. And look at this move pool. Ice Beam? Sure. Thunderbolt? Sure. Okay. Flamethrower or Fire Blast? Why? Overheat? Will-O-Wisp? Like, if we want to support Arceus, Swords Dance, Fly, Thunder Wave? Like, Trick Room? It gets Trick Room. Why? I don't know. Draco Meteor. Yeah, I don't want to deal with it. I do not want to deal with it. Next up, we have Victini. So, Victini is interesting. I think it also has base 100 stats across the board, which, in my opinion, is interesting. Have I mentioned I think that's interesting? Let's check the stats. Okay, base 100s. The thing about Victini is it gets this move of V-Create. Oh, wait, but this is only special distribution. Wait, does it get V-Create normally? Ooh, interesting. Okay, so it's only an event move. I didn't know that, actually. So V-Create is 180 base power, meaning you get Choice Band and Speed Control on this thing. It's effectively Fire-type Dracovish. One-shots everything it should. One-shots everything it should. But without V-Create, it's actually not as good. It gets Trick Room, it gets U-Turn. I didn't realize that was an event move. Yeah, the move pool actually isn't that deep, all things considered. It gets Final Gambit, which is good, but not if Dynamax is in play. Huh, I was expecting to put Victini in the S tier. I actually think it's a B tier Pokemon. I'm not going to lie to you. Oh, I'm going to put that in the thumbnail. Wait, we're going to put it all the way to the left so I can put it in the thumbnail. And all the singles players are going to be mad. They're going to be so mad. Oh my god, thank you, Victini, that you've actually saved me. Because, yeah, what do you run on it? Like, Flare Blitz? The stats aren't that good. The stats are the same as Mew. Like, you really rely on that huge base power to just, like, blow through things. Yeah, what do you run on it? Focus Blast? No. Yeah, the moves kind of suck. I mean, it didn't matter when all you needed was V-Create, but with this, like, I think it gets Wild Charge. Shockwave, Helping Hand. We're going to run Helping Hand Victini. Okay, Wild Charge Victini. Yeah, this thing is not as good as I thought it was. Without V-Create? Not good. Okay, Keldeo. Okay, I love Keldeo. Keldeo, so many times where I'm just like, I wish Keldeo was legal. They gave us Urshifu, which I don't think is going to be exactly what I was looking for. Keldeo is justified, although I typically think that it runs as a special attacker. Oh wait, Victini's ability is good. It boosts accuracy of all Pokemon and allies by 10%, so you run this with Darkrai, and then you have 55% accurate Darkwood. Woohoo! Stats are interesting. So it's Musketeer. Its ability basically doesn't get used because you run special attack. But good stats. A high base speed, a good special attack stat, and a good HP stat. This thing doesn't feel like a mythical Pokemon, truthfully. It feels like a regular Pokemon or like a legendary Pokemon, but yeah. In terms of move pool, Helping Hand... Oh wait, this thing might exist in Generation 8. Oh, it does. Cool, let's take a look at its Gen 8 Dex. Secret Sword is an 85 base power move that uses your special attack on the target's physical defense. It works like Psyshock, Hydro Pump, Swords Dance, Close Combat, Icy Wind, Bounce, Air Slash. It gets Muddy Water. I don't think it's... Oh, it does get Scald. Okay, so yeah, you're in Scald, Secret Sword, and 2 more. Calm Mind, Protect, Icy Wind, whatever. I think it's fine. Like, I think it's pretty good. I'm going to put it in the A tier. I'll put both Keldeo there. I think it's probably an A-tier Pokemon. Like, it does feel a little weaker than some of these other ones, but the high base speed and the good offensive coverage between water and fighting, which are both great typings in their own. You also obviously get max airstream if you want to Dynamax it, if you're able to Dynamax it. And it gets a good special fighting move, which, you know, is overall solid. It also hits on the physical side, which I think is good for Keldeo, meaning against both physically and special Pokemon, or physically and specially defensive Pokemon, you can cover both options with one Pokemon. With, you know, obviously it's not super strong, but you can run Calm Mind, you can run max airstream on it with Air Slash, you can run Icy Wind for speed control. I think overall a good Pokemon. Meloetta is next, so I don't know too much about Meloetta. It gets Serene Grace. Wait, does it get? Oh, it's not in the game. Gotta go back to Gen 7. Meloetta. Okay, so let's take a look at this thing. It has two formies. When it uses Relic Song, it changes to Pirouette Formie whenever you use the move in battle, and only lasts until Meloetta is switched out. So you can't, if you change Formie, you can't keep it in. The thing about the formies is that they have the same HP, but the attack and special attack switch, and this much faster when it's fighting type formie. So basically, it's an interesting Pokemon. Let's check this. Serene Grace. It doesn't get Serene Grace, so where is it? Close Combat, Parasong. The typing changes as well. So base Formie is Psychic and Normal. The Pirouette Formie is Normal and Fighting. The main reason to use Meloetta, I think, is because the high base speed of Pirouette Formie. 128 is extremely fast. Not as fast as Coco and get Mega Gengar and stuff, but yeah, still very fast. And it is bulky on the special side when it's in regular Formie, so you can kind of cover that with Intimidate until you transform. 20% chance to put a Pokemon to sleep is not bad at all. It's not something you can rely on, but it is a good secondary effect. I'm not crazy about this Pokemon, truthfully. Like, I don't think changing it to Fighting type does enough for you, especially considering you can't stay in and switch. Meaning, like, either you build yourself for... I think if you were to run Meloetta and try and do well with it, I think you just had to ignore Pirouette Formie, which means you're not that strong, right? I guess you run Hyper Voice and Psychic and like Protect in one other move. Maybe Relic Song as like a last ditch effort. But the thing is, like, because the attack and special attack are swapped here, like, you pretty much only want to build for one of these, which means you're forced to use the other one just to transform. And like, yeah, like if you switch, like, or if you change the fighting type and then you get intimidated, like, what are you gonna do? You know, so. Although I guess I could rank these separately, I'm going to put them both in the C tier. I'm really not crazy about this Pokemon, I'll be completely honest. I think it's kind of bad. Like, I don't think... When you look at Pokemon like Shaymin Sky and Arceus and Deoxys, and even like the A tier Pokemon, and even the B tier Pokemon, Meloetta just kind of feels like it falls short. Let's look at Genesect next. So I feel like Genesect is super cool. It's got Scissors typing, which is very interesting. So Genesect has Download, which is a very, very, very good ability. It gets Fell Stinger, it gets Techno Blast, meaning it can change. It gets 120 base power move of Fire, Water, or I think Electric. Yeah, I think Electric, depending on the type of the drive it's holding. So that's a very strong coverage move. Having a Fire or Water type move on, Genesect allows you to hit either Steel types or Fire types. Both of which are very valuable, and yeah, Download giving you an immediate boost is also very good. You also could run Scarf on this thing, or Life Orb or something like that. It's base 99, which is a little insulting compared to the other Mythicals. And the bulk isn't amazing, but it's not terrible either. Like, 95, 95, 71 is not awful. Like, you shouldn't be 2-hit KO'd by most things, and good offensive stats, like 120 is not bad at all, especially when you factor in Download. So, yeah, I mean, the move pool, you probably run Physical, Steel, or, Steel and Bug, Physical, or Special, whichever you prefer, and then maybe a Drive as well if you want, but it also gets other good moves as well. Like you have Flamethrower here, which I didn't realize it got. Thunderbolt, which is also good. Ice Beam, which is also good. Great coverage moves across the board. Yeah, I like Genesect. I think it'd be pretty good. I'm going to put it in the A tier. I don't think it's as good as like, some of the S tier Pokemon, but I do think it would do very well. I think it's a very cool Pokemon, and it's very dangerous as well. Diancie is next. There is no Mega Diancie in this game, so I kind of thought Diancie was Carbig for a while. We can't talk about Mega Diancie because it's not in the game, so we're going to ignore this whole thing. Mega Diancie would be amazing. Mega Diancie is broken, but regular Diancie, great defenses. Not terrible offenses, actually. I thought this thing had lower offenses. Although base 100 is not amazing, and low base speed. I think you run this thing with Trick Room, except it doesn't learn Trick Room, and the move pool is kind of... Oh, it doesn't learn Trick Room. Yeah, I think this is like a Psychic, or a Fairy type, Rock type's Trick Room setter, but the thing is, the 4-times weakness to Steel is pretty bad. The weakness to Water is not ideal. The weakness to Ground is pretty bad. I don't think this is very good at all, honestly. Diamond Storm is a great move, especially because it hits both in doubles, so that's kind of broken. But, yeah, the ability is not good. I don't think this thing is very good. Mega Diancie would be S tier, but it's not in the game. We're putting it in C tier. Look at Hoopa. Hoopa is next. Shiny Hoopa looks very cool. Ability Magician, so it steals the item of a Pokemon hits with a move, which is a great ability. You can run like a seed on it if you wanted. Hoopa's strong, I think. Regular Hoopa at least, or Unbound Hoopa is very strong. Let's look at the stats. So regular Hoopa has low base defenses, low base defense, good special defense, great special attack, and decent speed, I would say. I would definitely say decent speed. But the low base defense and its Psychic and Ghost type, which isn't terrible typing, Hoopa can find. Hyperspace Hole is a great attack. What's the special attack? 150 is pretty strong. Like, it hits stronger, harder than you'd expect. I think it's alright, personally. Yeah, I think it's okay. But the move pool kind of is not great. Hoopa could find, or Unbound, we're going to talk about in a second. Move pool's alright. Trick Room is good. A lot of tutor moves. Psychic, what would you run on it? Psychic, Shadow Ball, Protect, Trick Room. It's kind of slow. You need to support it with speed control somehow. It's pretty, like, yeah, base 70 is not fast enough. And the low base defense is really atrocious. Like, what do you run? Like, Incineroar, Hoopa, Fake Out, Trick Room, Hyperspace Hole stuff? I guess it's okay. I was going to put it in the C tier, truthfully, but now after looking at it, I'm going to put it in the B tier. I think it's alright. Hoopa Unbound is a different story. Look at these stats. Base 80, 130, 170, 160, 60, 80. So it has the same bulk, but better offenses at the cost of, like, much better offenses. The cost of, and it's 10 faster. There's no cost. I changed my mind. And the cost is, like, your Dark type instead of Bug type. Or instead of your Dark type, which makes you 14 Bug instead of Ghost type. The advantage is that you get this move, a 100 base power physical Dark type move that breaks Protect. Now, Hyperspace Hole also breaks Protect. I guess I didn't touch on that. And has no drawback, but it's only 80 base power. Hoopa Unbound has Hyperspace Fury, which is 100 base power that breaks Protect. It also has other good moves like Knock Off. It gets Trick Room. I don't think it gets Hyperspace Hole. It does not seem to get Hyperspace Hole, but yeah, honestly, Hyperspace Fury is kind of all you need. Breaking Protect, although you lower your defense stats, it's already low enough that I don't think you care too much about it. I think this thing is extremely strong. It functions both in Trick Room and out of Trick Room. I'm going to say a hot take. I think this thing is S tier in VGC. Like, if the opponent is a special Pokemon in the field, or, like, the physical Pokemon is threatened by Hoopa, they're going to be in a lot of trouble. And, yeah, the ability to just break Protect, like, just straight up smack it, I think it makes it extremely powerful. Volcanion is next. I think Volcanion is a super cool Pokemon. I really want to use it. However, it's not legal, so I cannot use it. It gets an ability, Water Absorb, which is very good. It gets basically Strong Scald. 110 base power Scald that can burn. Fire Water is cool typing. You have weaknesses to, Electric, Ground, and... Is that it? Wow, that's actually kind of sick. Oh, and Rock. Electric, Ground, and Rock. So not bad, overall. Steam Eruption, Flare Blitz. Let's look at the stats first. It's a better way to do this. It's pretty slow, but the base defense is good, the base HP is good, and the base special defense isn't terrible. 90 is pretty good. Overall, the HP were higher, 90 would be fine. It's like a little lacking, but it's not terrible. It's more specially offensive than physically offensive, but you can run mixed if you want, because it's not that fast. You could easily run Trick Room, Volcanion with Flare Blitz and Eruption or Steam Eruption. Steam Eruption is very good. Earth Power is a good coverage move. The real weakness of this Pokemon, I think, is the speed stat. It gets Will-O-Wisp, so I think most of the time from Steam Eruption. Yeah, the speed stat hurts a lot. You can run Overheat if you want. It probably gets Flamethrower. It gets Flamethrower as well. Like, yeah. I think this Pokemon's pretty good. 30% burn rate is really nice. I think, honestly, Steam Eruption alone is going to make this Pokemon A tier. I don't think it's S tier. Weakness to Ground and Rock are not ideal in VGC because those are very common offensive types. However, I think this Pokemon's super cool. It could work on Rain or Sun teams, which is nice. Like, you could run this as, like, a Rain counter, for example, because you're not weak to water, or you're immune to water, actually. And, yeah, I don't know. I think it's a very cool Pokemon. I think it'd be good for sure. So, yeah. Next up, we have Meloetta. I don't need to look at this thing. I already know it's S tier. This thing, if this thing ever becomes legal, we need to quit VGC. Like, it's not. It's, like, that's a joke, but that's not a joke. The thing about Meloetta is, let's take a look at the ability. What's it called? Magearna. Okay. Bop. Steel Fairy. Okay, it's got Klefki's typing. Not bad, not bad. What are its ability? Soul Heart. Every time a Pokemon faints, this Pokemon's special attack is boosted. So, for example, I could run Final Gambit, high base HP Pokemon, Protect Magearna, Final Gambit, +2 special attack if I KO something, +1 special attack if I don't. Shift Gear raises speed. Flare Cannon, 130 base power that raises off drop special attack 2 stages. It's not every time you take a KO, it's every time any Pokemon faints, meaning you could easily get Magearna to +6 special attack in one game. Iron Defense to boost your physical defense. Hard Swap, so you can, if you're gonna get knocked out, you can change your stat boost to a partner. You can pass +6 or +5 or plus whatever to a partner. Calm Mind to boost your special defense. Screen, light screen at least. I don't know if it has reflect. Flash Cannon, Trick Room. Oh my god, it gets Trick Room. I didn't even realize that. And the stats are good as well. Like, it's not a huge base HP stat, but like, defenses are totally fine, and the special attack is good, and the speed's low enough you can actually take advantage of Trick Room or Shift Gear, whatever you prefer. Broken. Does it get Dazzling Gleam? It gets Dazzling Gleam as well. Okay. Okay. So yeah, this thing we just need to pray it never gets legal because that would be bad. Marshadow. Marshadow, I don't know too much about. I think it is a cool Pokemon. It's Ghost and Fighting, which is, I don't know if it's unique, but it's pretty cool. Let's look at the stats. It's fast. It has 125 base speed and 125 attack. The stats aren't amazing, but they're not bad either. I think the real strength of Marshadow is its attack, which is called Spectral Thief, which steals the target's stat boost and then attacks. That's kind of broken. It's honestly pretty broken. Being able to just totally, especially if this thing were legal in a Dynamax format, like being able to immediately steal your target's stat boost is very, very dangerous. Extremely dangerous. And I think, like, yeah, when you combine that with some of the other things about Marshadow, like Spectral Thief in close combat, it's kind of hard to switch into that because, like, obviously Ghost and Fighting offer good coverage because, you know, Normal is immune to Ghost and weak to Fighting, and Fighting is not very effective on Ghost or Psychic, and Ghost hits those, and, you know, Ghost is bad on Dark, which Fighting hits, so overall, offensively, it's very good. It also gets Sucker Punch, Shadow Sneak for priority if you want to be more safe, coverage moves in these. I don't know if it gets Swords Dance, we're about to find out. Will-O-Wisp is also, like, not a bad option as well. It does not get Swords Dance, thankfully, but yeah. Potentially as Iron Head and Bounce, probably gets Bounce, I'm not sure, so you can raise your speed stat if you Dynamaxed. Terrifying Pokemon, absolutely terrifying. I think, is it A or S tier? The stats are, like, bad enough that I want, why are there two are there two Marshadow forms? Oh, it's in Gen 8. Oh, we can actually see, sorry, I know this is going to take a little longer. Oh, Technician also powers up Shadow Sneak. Oh, it's so good. Spectral Thief, Endeavor, Close Combat, Fire Punch, Ice Punch, Will-O-Wisp, Bounce, so it gets max Airstream. Bulk Up, Throat Chop, Foul Play. Yeah, very, very good Pokemon. I'm not going to put it in the S tier because, although it's strong, like, the bulk isn't amazing and the attack is very good, but, like, you know, not unstoppable good. And Spectral Thief isn't as high base power as it would need to be, like, to be super broken. It's really just that, sorry, let me close that. I have new computer notifications on. Yeah, so I think it's a very good Pokemon. I wouldn't put it in the broken tier, but yeah. Melmetal is S tier. Melten is D tier. I don't know that much. I know just enough about these Pokemon to know where they go. We'll look at Melmetal. I don't think I need to explain why Melton is low tier, but yeah, look at this thing's stats, and then look at Double Iron Bash, or whatever it's called. Low base speed, but that's actually really good for it, and then 135 HP, 143 attack, and then 143 defense. Special defense is bad, and speed is bad, but you'd run these in Trick Room, and like you can run Assault Vest to make it super bulky. It also gets the Gmax form, so that inflicts Torment, which is really strong. But yeah, Body Press with base 143 defense. High horsepower to raise your special defense if you Dynamax or Gigantamax. Superpower, Iron Defense. It's broken. It's actually broken. It's actually broken. Double Iron Bash is a 120 base power steel move that breaks focus action. It's twice, giving you double chance to flinch and 30% chance to flinch. Is that on each hit? I think that's on each hit. That's actually insane. Yeah, I didn't realize it flinched. I thought it was broken without flinching. Yeah, that's S tier for sure. And Melton, yeah, is just bad. So, last but not least, we have Zeraora. Who I do not believe is in the game. Oh, is it in Gen 8? Wow, I didn't know that, actually. Okay. Zeraora, I think, is pretty good. You'd mostly run it for Plasma Fist, I think, and its stats, which are extremely good. 143 base speed, and then a high base attack of 112. Well, okay, it's not super high, to be honest, but yeah, the base speed is really good, and yeah, being able to outspeed Dragapult by 1 point is very nice, I think. You can run Play Rough on it. If you wanted to, you could run Max Play Rough. Is it normal electric or just electric? Just electric, yeah. So you could run Play Rough on it. That would let you set up Misty Terrain before Dragapult attacked. You could run Bulk Up, Blaze Kick, Superpower, like lots of good moves here. Plasma Fist is the big one, obviously. Volt Switch if you want to switch out. Helping Hand for support. Plasma Fist is the big one. Close Combat is also really good. Like, this thing would be very good in the current format because it could hit Togekiss, Excadrill, and Tyranitar, and like Milotic and Dragapult all for super effective damage if it wanted. So yeah, it's not an S tier Pokemon, I think, but it is an A tier Pokemon. It lacks some of the stats and just the sheer brokenness of some of the S tier Pokemon. However, it's still very, very, very good. So Yeah, I think that's pretty much all the Pokemon. So yeah, let me know what you guys think of this video, and if you disagree with anything. Obviously, like these are out of all the Pokemon, out of all the tier lists I made, out of all the Pokemon tier lists I've made, at least like I feel the least confident about this one, just because I've used these Pokemon never, for the most part. So I've used like Mew in a draft league before, but for the most part, I haven't really used these Pokemon. So, um, yeah. So I'm not, 100% confident in everything here, but I feel pretty good about this general ranking and how, if these Pokemon were ever legal and released, how well they would do in VGC. So, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed watching. Let me know what you want me to cover next for tier lists, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.